What's up, guys? I'm here to talk about the Bluetti eb3a today. This is a 268 watt hour battery bank, which is equivalent to about 12 amp hours. You got your input for your solar panels. You got input for AC charger. Circuit protector. It's like a 125 volt, 10 amp. 12 volt DC outputs, lighter output like in a car socket. Got two USB ports and a USB-C out. This is 100 watt. These are 5 volt DC, charge your phones and stuff. Two AC outputs, 120 volt, 600 watt capacity. So this whole thing can handle up to 600 watt output, but I do hear it has a 1200 watt peak, so try that out. Up here you gotta turn it on, right there. You got a little light. Just click that, and it has medium, high, and an SOS mode. And it looks like it starts showing how long it will run, or how many watts just the little light is pulling. Still says 30 hours. I'm not sure but it'll run at 30 hours, but we'll test it and find out. So, got the AC cord plugged into your wall. Then you got the MC4 connector cord for the DC charging. There's an app for it to handle all the wattage settings and fast charging and whatnot. I'll go ahead and turn on the AC and see what we can plug in. I have a 18 volt Milwaukee battery, and plug that guy in. And you see the 30 hours went down to 1.4 hours. And 113 watt output. And you can get solar panels to put in 200 watts. And I do hear that as pass-through charging, so you could be charging it while it's putting out that, still putting 100 watts into the battery essentially, give or take. You can go ahead and plug in a 20 volt fast charger, dual. Let's see what that's taking up. That screen turned off. Alright. I have a quick charger plugged into it. You can hear that thing power up. It pulls a lot more. 380.4 hours. So let's try that one just by itself. 275.5 to 0.6 hours. About a half hour. And again, 200 watt input, you would still be pulling more than you're able to put into it with the solar or AC. I do hear that it acts as a UPS though, so unprotected power source. If you have this plugged into the wall essentially, and something plugged into it, the power will pass through, and then as soon as your power dies, this would kick on almost immediately, so your devices don't lose power. If you have like a computer plugged into it, you won't lose your data. Medical devices, great little backup. Again, it depends on what you're plugging in and how long your power is going to be out. What size you may want to look for a bigger one. I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy back in. Got these little hand warmers, 2 USB-C plug-ins. I'm going to plug that into the DC. Let's see, those are now charging. Charge up anything we really need, not for very long, so hopefully they charge pretty fast. Or you have the solar input. Okay, I saw a video where a man runs his furnace off of that, and curious on how much my furnace would pull and what it would run. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug all this and turn that off and test it. As you can see, it just goes back to the default 30 hours, so definitely won't last 30 hours at 59% for whatever you're plugging in. I mean, even just see if it just reads a little. I mean, that's 3 watt output, so 25.5 hours. You can charge those a few times on that. And before I do the furnace, I wanted to try just a little fan. So we got this Milwaukee fan, 3-speed. Go ahead and make sure that's off. Turn the AC on, and we'll try the first speed. Actually got to run for about 12 hours at 59% on the first speed, which is decent. 18 watts jumps down to 7 hours. So that was max speed. I said 3.7 hours. Alright, here we are at the furnace. I got this app open on another device just to show you guys. AC is turned on right now. You can turn that off and on right here as well. And that'll show you how much wattage you have incoming from the solar, from the grid, wattage out DC, wattage out AC. There's also, you can link up multiples to this on your account. So it shows you here, you have an eco mode and it'll shut down if it's not using power to save the battery. Power lifting, this is to turn on the peak wattage, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then you have your charging modes, turbo, silent. When you go to turbo, it doesn't recommend it unless you urgently need to. So you can also firmware if it has any updates. But we'll go ahead and go back to this page. So again, we have the peak protector, surge protector on, and turn on the AC. You see how I am. Unplugging my furnace. And I'm going to plug it in. Alright. So AC is on. It's pulling 8 watts without even being on 13 hours. So let's go ahead and come up here. Turn the heat on and just see. You'll probably be storming out. You'll mostly need heat, I would assume. Go ahead. We'll leave it at 72. And we'll see. So it turned on just fine. It's running it 370 watts, 380 watts. Only 0.3 hours. So at maybe 100%, you would get just under an hour of heat from your furnace. So I wouldn't recommend using a furnace on it unless you had no other heat source. Again, most space heaters are probably about 1500 watts. You could find the smaller ones to be about 500 watts. So that's even more than a furnace. I don't know. So for heat generation, I would not recommend this small of a battery or wattage output. And again, on your device, you can see what it's pulling there. So it says it has a 600 watt limit. I'm gonna go grab my charger and plug that in and see what that does. Here we are. Got a 20 volt because it pulled more. Fast charger. Let's see what it does. Plugged in now. Okay, so that is struggling. It's turning off and on the furnace. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug that before I blow up my furnace. So I wouldn't recommend plugging anything else into it if you have something that's running that high. Says 600 watt output, but at about 580 it was struggling. So I don't believe this 600 watt consistent output. I don't know. You let me know what you guys think or your experiences, but and here the temperatures actually went down 1 notch, so I don't even know if it's actually just pulling all the air out or if it's blowing any warm air. I'm gonna go check that. Here we are, guys. It's definitely blowing air. Does not seem to be warm air. Hopefully those couple surges didn't mess anything up. I'm gonna go swap it back over and check. Alright, let's turn this off. Make sure it fully powers down. Alright, we'll go ahead and unplug that. Plug back in there. Sounded rough. Let's go check. Alright. So we're getting air. Does seem to be warming up now. Okay, so you can see in that little time we just had it plugged in, it dropped pretty good. Let's go. Alright, we're going to plug this in and see how the AC charger does. Alright, so we got AC charger. I'm going to turn this AC output off. It's jumping up. Input 260 to 265 watts. And it's charging, it says 0.5 hours. So I've seen a lot of videos, but I've never seen anybody actually use the pass-through. I want to try that. So I have just a simple 18 volt Milwaukee battery charger here. We're gonna plug that guy in. We're gonna turn that output on. Alright, as you can see, we are charging. And again, it still says that it is charging because you're getting more watts in than you're putting out. And you can see this UPS turned on here. So right there, that UPS, that means that if you were to lose power coming in, it would switch over and show you how long you have the power going out. So again, that's why it's good for like a little medical device, or maybe like an incubator or something you got going on. But yeah, so that's how that pass-through charging UPS mode works. Let's go see what the solar will do. Alright, so we have our solar panel, MC4 connectors here. eb3a. It is a very cloudy day here, so we'll see if we can even get any solar rays. So here we go. Go ahead and plug this in. And you see we have 0 watt input. Oh, there goes 13 watts. So again, it has 16 watts. And it says it will charge 18 watts in 9 hours. That is a very, very cloudy day. So, 120 watt foldable panel. So that could take it a long time to charge. Again, with a pass-through 18 watts, you could use this 5 volt DC and charge your phone and not even be using the battery, actually still be charging the battery. So we are on our app again. You can see what it's pulling from the PV, the solar, and you can read what would be going out, the battery percentage. Go ahead and turn that on and off. Another thing I noticed in here that is not on that, it's actually in the settings, is the LED light. So you can turn that on from your app. Again, it's just Bluetoothed to the device. One thing I do not like about this that I noticed is on the device it shows you how long it's going to take. This does not show you how long it's going to take to charge at all. Alright, so after charging it for about only 15 minutes on drop down to 7 watts input, it finally rose 1%, and I decided to bring it inside. It's supposed to rain soon, but there it is, 48%. You know. Overall, I'm very confused on why this did not kick on during the furnace and charger both being plugged in. I believe that the furnace didn't heat up due to this being a 10 amp and I need at least a 20 amp to run that furnace. But for small things, if you're out camping and just need to plug in a fan or a phone or maybe a little griddle or something, I think it'd be great. I was able to run a crock pot on it, but it would only run for about an hour, my guesstimate, at full charge, so that's pretty horrible use of your power bank. Again, it did only pull a couple 100 watts, so if you had the input going and the output going, it would save you. But it's a decent little power bank, all in all. I don't know if I need to contact somebody about the circuit breaker not working and why my furnace was kicking on and off, but it did not pop. So, but again, it did not hit 600 watts. It was only reading about 580 up here. I believe it was just surging in between the two units. So, because it didn't have enough amperage to output for both units. Well, let me know what you guys think.